13 Assassins is director Takashi Miike's remake of the 1963 film of the same name. Miike is one of my favorite directors of all time. Over 100 films in his catalog, and while I've only seen maybe a quarter of his films so far, each of them varying, there's always a shine of his style that peers through, coloring each film charming despite if it not always lands for me. It's this aspect, along with making some truly great masterpieces, that has probably put him comfortably in my top 5 of all time directors. If you know of Miike's films, a lot of them have this pulpy-like feeling to them, balancing in some goofiness and levity that 13 Assassins is completely void of. This feels like one of Miike's most mature outings. It is brutal. It's a brutal film following a group of assassins banding together to try and stop a ruthless, violent, and sadistic lord from gaining even more political power. The mission feels like an outright suicide mission from the start, and that tone bears heavy throughout the film. From brutally blunt sadistic moments caused by the Lord that would make even hardened Miike fans cringe at, to the war against the Lord where the 13 face off what seems to be a never-ending army, this is a bleak film with extreme violent moments. The film is a slow build for the first hour or so, but then the back half of the film is just filled with great samurai sword fighting, some brutal kills and gore that's just impossible to look away, even if you feel like you can't stomach it. Miike handles the action sequences so well and for so long, it's hard not to call him a master at his craft. The action in this film is simply riveting. The sword fighting feels realistic in the film in the sense where they don't get stabbed or sliced or just fall down for the most part, but they fight until their bodies just give out. The Lord is truly a menacing villain in the film because his level of torture he is willing to inflict is just through the roof. You root for his demise, and while the samurai are duking it out, you're hoping for them to finally reach that lord. It'll put you on the edge of your seat while also being shot really well. The film looks amazing, and I love the sound design because they went with a much older take on the sword noises and stabbing sound effects, which makes the film feel timeless. The special effects are really well done here, as well as the hair, makeup, and wardrobe. There's just so many scenes that are just feel so brutal in this film you can't look away. Miike for me has a long history of having somewhat of a chaotic energy to his films, from the way the characters act, to the way the camera moves, to how the film is edited, or even how wacky the stories end up getting. 13 Assassins doesn't have that in the same sense, but it does build this chaotic energy that feels very much like a Miike film by the action toward the end of the film. The fight sequences builds this kind of frantic energy of Miike, but also has some rather still camera work. 13 Assassins is a perfect movie to introduce people into Miike's work. And for an Eastern samurai film, while it is brutal as it is, it's a masterpiece that is an essential viewing of the genre.